Guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video. I want to kick off today with a bit of an announcement, and that is that we are switching over for recordings to a new exchange for Bitcoin that will be on Binance, as you can see here. Before this we had the one from Bitfinex, but a lot of times I just noticed that the levels were not really respected. They were not really like one-on-one for Binance and Bybit. And then I thought, well, you know what, since we're now in this lower range here around 16k, might as well switch over to a new chart and we just start completely fresh and clean. The only thing that I put on this chart is this very big macro value area, and then this smaller one. I have back tested the levels. There are almost 1-to-1 with Bybit, so from now on we will be using then BTC USD on the Binance exchange or Binance chart, so we say. And today we are also starting off with the MACD and RSI and not with market Cipher B. Before we go to dive in, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think that's useful. Without further ado, let's start diving in, of course. Alright, let's zoom in here a little bit because we are here on the 4 hourly and we are in this smaller trading range. And Bitcoin is just going a little bit sideways. We're kind of bouncing off that very early low where I'll come for you, where I'll come back at in a minute. Interesting, what I found on the MACD is that we have this very kind of slow grind up, and we just this weekend went through. In other words, this could be seen as a bearish signal. Usually on the bigger time frames it does have follow through, not always, but you have seen it, for example, here. Then we had a very big dump. And then here it came a little bit later after the pump, but actually you still have some follow through. Here it's also a very good example. What we actually already have shown a lot of times is that if the indicators kind of go back to neutral, so this is very bearish, right? We're very much below the zero line. So if we're going back more to neutral levels, also here for the RSI, then there is more room for the downside, because you betcha that a lot of traders, when they're seeing, oh, something is very much oversold, let's long it, and then there's a lot of long orders that then pushing the price up, or spot trades that could also be, and the same goes for overbought conditions. So a price can never stay overbought or oversold into eternity. It will go back to the mean. It will reset at some point, and if that doesn't happen really in the factor of price, like we have seen here, it's just a little bit of sideways action, then these indicators are kind of setting up for the next move, which usually or could be a little bit down. Like I said, 4 hourly, I mean, this was pretty ugly, but the 4 hourly on the MACD usually gives a good signal. This was also a very nice one. This was a nice one, and also on the daily. You can see, if I really zoom in, that this has now really kind of is coming together with these two MACD lines, the signal line and the MACD line. That doesn't mean that we can still roll over, but you can see that there was a big gap here between the two lines that is now becoming a little bit smaller. So if eventually the MACD could deviate again from the signal line, or even cross it, but usually you have the action then when they come more together, and it could bounce off like you can see here, but that's not always the case. The reason why I'm also showing the RSI is that we are a little bit back into neutral territory, so there is room to the downside for the indicators, at least if we want to. Let's quickly zoom over to the weekly. Also, I mean, it is low, but it is kind of neutral between the two zones, 30 and 70, and on the weekly here for the MACD we haven't crossed it bearish yet. Alright, with that being said, we are going to take this off, or do I still have something for you on the hourly? No, we do have a bullish crossing now, but it is very weak. As you can see, price just goes almost sideways. RSI was right away oversold. That is also maybe right away a nice learning point. If price goes sideways, because of the calculation of the RSI, I will not go into detail what that formula is right now. But you can see that this is just also going sideways, and then suddenly a little bit of a dump down makes the RSI right away go over sold. And if you have a price that's very volatile all the time, then the RSI might jump up and down like this, but it's not right away extremely overbought, extremely oversold, because it already had some volatility in the previous candles. Alright, cool. With that being said, let's just take this out because there is a lot going on again in the crypto space. And then I mean that BitBoy Crypto, or Ben Armstrong, I have to say he is on a tear because he is calling out Kevin O'Leary for being involved with the FTX bankruptcy and being involved with a lot of projects and rug pulls, and apparently he was also involved with a quote-unquote murder in 2019, but there was never a lawsuit or they filed the case or whatever. The moral of the story is apparently if you have a lot of money you can get away with certain shit. So that is very interesting how it's going to evolve. Check out his Twitter. I was baffled to read all of the tweets this morning. Absolutely crazy. Alright, back to the price. So we are now kind of finding support here at the value area low. On the other chart we had a triangle put in that was approximately, let me see, somewhere here maybe, I guess. I don't know for sure. Let me take that white and then 2 that's a little bit more visible, and then we did something like this, and I said, well, you know, we have a breakout and then a retest, and now we should go high, and it's just not really the case. I also said in last week's videos I'm not really trading this actively, but you could also say that this you could extend, and if you then zoom out to the 4 hourly, then you have a little bit more nicer candles and wicks, and also of course the higher the time frame, the more powerful it is. Then actually you could say that we have a bit more of a ascending triangle, or descending triangle, excuse me. And then you have a breakout that would be somewhere halfway this week, so Wednesday or Thursday approximately. So you can maybe go up one more time, retest something, and then go down. That could be a very nice trade. Believe it or not, the target is approximately 14k. And that is also the target that we have talked about already multiple times. And I said, actually, I find that is a nice number. I'm not really so keen on calling exact bottoms or whatever. It don't really matter. As a trader, you just want to have volatility. But if I need to name a number, then approximately 14k is nice, because some people are expecting 10k, some people say this is the bottom. Have something right in the middle so that longs or short cannot activate the trades. That will be very nice. This will be approximately 14k, so that actually would be pretty nice if that happens. Now let's take this out just for a second, because there are of course also trades to be made. If we are going lower here, maybe creating something like a bullish divergence on the smaller time frames, for example then on the 12 minutes or on the 15 minute, that actually would be very nice. That the price does something like this, we go down one more time, and then this does something like this, and then you have a very nice bullish divergence where the price goes lower, the momentum wave goes higher, also the money flow here is already coming up. That actually would be a very nice trade. If we go even lower, then let me quickly zoom back into the hourly. That is also nice. Whoop. To the hourly, then we could say, you know what, then I will take an SFP, so swing filled pattern. I'm gonna draw it in right away and then we'll save it. That is from this low. That actually would be very nice. Let's put that in SFP. Or if we go even low, then of course we also still have these lows here as an SFP. Would also definitely trade that with a long, but to be honest, depending on how we get there, we might then go lower. So be careful with that. If you wanting to long this, or to short this for the SFP, you could do exactly the same here on this high, which is also very nice right now, the value area high. So that actually would be very nice if we come up to that level, SFP it, and then go lower. That is 17,100. Well, I know of course it's still quite the move from here. Which one I also very much liked is, let me see which high that was. That is also this high. So we're taking it then from the high wick right here to the low, back to the golden pocket is exactly here. Also the point of control. There's also a daily level there. I will not draw it out now, but there is quite some confluence at and around 16,600 or 16,700, excuse me, let's say 16,700 to approximately, let's take 16,500, because we still have quite some candles. So this whole area here is actually a very nice level to long if we see the right right signs. That is also approximately 1%. So there's an area or a box of, let's say, 1%. So if we get there, that actually would be very nice to short this if we see the right confirmations. And the right confirmation could be a 15-minute bear div, or maybe extremely oversold, or maybe we see the open interest going back tremendously. But that actually would be a very nice level to short. If we then go higher, of course, we have also I've also shown you this already many times on the channel, is that if you have something like a little bit of a sloping top or bottom, then usually that is being taken out, because there are so many stop losses on all of these levels. So people take their short here or here or here and put the stop loss just at this top, and if then the price pumps up, takes out all of those stop losses and then goes lower again. That happens quite a lot, so that actually would be very nice to see if that happens. If we go even higher than that, then I'm looking out for the top here, which we've also drawn out already for a while now. I think that's top here. They were talking about 17,600 to 17,700. Looks far away from here. I know that is a bump of an extra almost 10%. Looks quite a lot, but never say never, of course. Any news could pull the trigger. So that is at least for BTC right now where I'm looking at. Also not in a trade. I'm just waiting for my confirmations. There was one bullish divergence on this smaller time frame, but it was in a weird time for me, and that is, or let me take the 15-minute. This actually was nice that you have well, you know what, let's take the trend line. Here the price goes lower, and here you can see that the momentum wave is going higher. That is actually nice to see. Money flow was not really yet coming up, but if you would have taken the trade and you would have put your stop loss just underneath this candle, you would have been in profit the entire time. You could have taken profit. So that is actually so far that would have been a nice trade, but that was Sunday night for me, so I didn't trade it at all. Right now we're also battling with that VWAP, that's that white line that you just see here in the screen. Would actually be a very nice moment to bounce off and then to go higher. If I see something that I like, then I will definitely take the long, but for now on the sidelines. Quickly I want to move over to the dollar index, because what do we see here? The dollar index is on the rise. That looks good if you are a bear on Bitcoin, and yes, I am a bear on Bitcoin, so far this looks good. That 105 hold, now we are hunting for the 108 to get back above. If we do, nice thing would be to see something like this, confirmation, then higher, then 109 and then 111. But so far it looks good. Also on the bigger time frames, this actually looks good, like it wants to go higher. The money flow goes back up, maybe it needs to roll over once to cool off a little bit, but that actually looks good. Also on the daily, money flow bounced off the zero line. Remember what I said on Friday, it could be that the money flow bounces off the zero line and we do not see a red money flow. Well, look what happened. Also here the momentum wave, very nice, green dot was confirmed, and now we are going higher. So this one doesn't show any weird stuff, just a retrace and then going higher. We have a support and resistance line, so we know kind of now where the dollar index is moving towards. S&P 500, we bounced off the golden pocket, something that we discussed already last week and the week before this, that if we are going higher and if you are still bearish, then this is the point where you want the price to return to go lower again, and that is exactly what happened. Absolute textbook. Matter of fact, to make it even better, we have seen that the price on a very small time frame, so this is the 1 hour, we put in the top right here. We had a gap here, which was then right away closed, as you can see. So there's no trading gaps. Yes, there was a trading gap here. That one also got closed, and then the price moved on this smaller time frame also to the golden pocket, and we were unable to go higher, and now it looks like it's losing steam a little bit and going lower. Confirmed with a trigger wave red dot here on the 1 hour. So on the bear side, this looks pretty good. On the 4 hourly, you want to see some more follow through, because if else this is going to print a green dot and then we are going higher. Let's quickly check on the 1 day. Still also looks pretty good. Oh, by the way, remember how I said, was that here last week? Yeah. 4 hour bearish divergence got beautifully confirmed and now going lower. So you want to see some a little bit more follow through. I want to see this in 1 or 2 trading days to go lower. If else, excuse me, I think the momentum wave will go higher again. Then the the bearish divergence could be invalidated, but so far it looks pretty nice and looks tradable. Keep your eyes on the dollar index and on the S&P 500. If this goes lower and this goes higher, then you betcha BTC is going to break and we are going lower. Who knows? Maybe to that 14k or maybe not. We'll see how this goes. I actually first hope that we're going a little bit higher. There's also another thing actually why I want that, and also that's confirming into this box. And that is that we have a CME gap, and that will then be my last point of the day before we're closing off. This was Sunday, this red candle, a minus 2.5%. This was Saturday, 0.04%. This was the day before, 0.02%, and this was the day before that, 0.2%. So you can see there's almost flat, almost no action or no change, shall we say, at the end of the day. But this is also now the CME gap. So if we are going back up and we can fill that, then we have the CME gap, which is filled. The gap itself, I mean, the 2.5%, it is not a lot. Usually the bigger the gap, the bigger the chances that it will get filled. But I have to say, it would be nice, and it would be a very nice confluence. And also here on the momentum indicator, I said last week, well, we're gonna have a green dot, but then I was looking yesterday at the chart here for Bitcoin, and I saw that there's barely any movement here to the upside for the momentum wave, and then you just need a little bit of a push, and you're right away getting that red dot, and also the money flow coming lower, the RSI is pointing lower, the VWAP pointing lower. So weakness all over the chart. So don't expect the world. We really need something in the space or something in the news or whatever that can push the price higher. So far the narrative still stays the same, as I have been pounding on this over and over again, which is inflation, the Fed, rate hikes, dollar index. That is just the driving factor behind crypto and the stock markets. Yes, we also have FTX, and yes, it has its effect, but at a certain point it also kind of wears off, unless there's a new body or a new body or skeleton coming out of the closet, which I do not really expect. But of course, never say never. That could also give then the last push for crypto to go maybe lower, and to maybe confirm if this is a bottom or not. It's going to be very exciting for the next week or two, shall we say, although the markets now might go a little bit sideways. Alright guys, that will be it for now. If you like the content, then please do me a favor, like and subscribe, click the bell, click all so that you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think that's useful. And of course, feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are also in the description. And I'll see you guys very soon again in the next one. Bye bye.